So we've looked at how to get receipts for expenses into Expensify using the new interface. In other words, we looked at the Smart Scan and we looked at just manually adding an expense. There's two other types of expenses we can add in Expensify. One is distance. So again, having used the plus sign, the distance option is here. And we choose a tracking method. We can choose distance, right? Or we can choose odometer or GPS. Now GPS is my favorite. I covered this in the last one. So let's do it again. What it's going to do is it's going to use just that. It's going to use my GPS locator in order to figure out where I am. And based on that, it's going to keep track of how far I went between, let's say, right here at my home and wherever my client might be. So this is really cool because I'm going to blur it out, of course, but as I'm sitting here in my home office, it certainly did come up with my exact home address. I mean, it's amazing to me how accurate that is. That, you know, if it had even picked one of my neighbor's addresses, I would have been impressed. But it pinpointed me exactly. So that's awesome. And now that I've stopped it, it shows that I went. The funny thing is now it shows that I went from my address to one of my neighbor's houses. That is actually kind of funny. I didn't actually go anywhere. So let's go back up. We'll discard my changes. The other way is odometer. So of course I can put in the starting and ending reading and it's going to figure out how many miles I went based on that. And then everything else is the same. Once I've got distance or mileage tracked, then I can, comment on it the same as I would do with any other expense. I can add it to a report, and then in the more details area, I can assign it to a category, assign it to a class, and again, I can slide off my billable on, off, on, off, on. So that's fun. And so we did GPS, we did odometer, and now working right back up. Distance, here's where I would simply manually enter the information. So this is sort of the distance tracking equivalent of adding an expense, right, where it's just all manual. So I just put in my total distance. The mileage rate is set up in the policies, which is covered in another lesson in the course. And again, I can set my date, and I can comment report and assign a category, class, and choose whether it's billable or reimbursable. So all those same options are, of course, still available here. And that's it. So that's three methods for tracking distance, manual, odometer, and GPS. And then the other piece to this that I want to look at is we're going to look at time. And time is pretty straightforward. There's only one option for entering time. It's manual. So there's no timer that I can start and stop per se or anything like that. I just put in my hours, I put in my hourly rate, and it figures it all in. And other than that, the same options appear. I put in the date, I can comment, I can add it to a report, I can assign it to a category or a class. And once again, I've got my sliders here for billable and reimbursable. So time is pretty straightforward. Not much has changed that. Again, just the interface, just the look and feel of it, which is nice. It's a nice, clean, beautiful interface. And that's it for Smart Scan, adding an expense, tracking time, tracking distance. In the next and final video on this update, we're going to take a look at this trips option real quick. I'll see you there.